Okay, I think we're live. I'm just going to go into my phone and check so I can see any comments, and then we will be ready. So, okie doke, I'm going to wait and see if anybody jumps on, and if not, I'm going to have a wonderful sharing of this topic we have today, and it's about 3 steps to start your spiritual coaching business and why this is super, super important. Especially in the times now, we are vibration, and we tend to forget our vibrational point of focus, as well as we're mostly forgetting this when we are in the 3D reality. So when we came here, we did come here to realize a lot of things that has to do with the experience of focusing physically. It means we come with a purpose, we come with a mission, and usually we start out by thinking that has to do with manifesting things or cars or watches or trips or boats, and there's nothing wrong about wanting to manifest that. However, we come also with a purpose and a mission. And this purpose mission is where your soul and your excuse me, got a message in here. Where your soul and your spirit aligns with your body is like the Trinity. So we're governed here by some 7 universal laws, which I will share a bit more about later. But the times that we're moving through right now is, for a lot of people, fear-inducing, which means that people tend to forget what they came here to manifest, and they instead they tend to focus on things that keep them in the survival. So that's things like, how can I get money? How can I get my things and secure a house? And that's perfectly normal. But again, we came to align the spiritual or the physical experience with the spiritual experience, meaning we need to align, first of all, our emotion. And alignment means sort of for us to gather all these pieces. Okay, my daughter's having a meltdown. That's what you're hearing. That's why. That is really having a live at home. Okay. Oh, that's really great. So, if anybody's here, let me know, because I can see somebody's here and I can see, but I can't see. So please comment, because I can't see who you are. And if you're commenting, there's a bit of a delay here. But I'm just going to keep on moving, because this is a very important and interesting topic. So when we come to this planet, we come with certain a blueprint. Our spirit is in our DNA. That's actually how it materializes the spiral from all the fractals. And you come with a purpose. And to know how to follow that purpose is actually what excites you. But you didn't come here to only feel the spiral of positive emotions. You come here to experience all emotion, to learn about the fullness of the experience, not just the light, but the darkness, not just the masculine, but also the feminine. So creation is always whole, but it's split into a dual concept on the planet we live today. So having this understanding means that you have a mission to move forward with, and you have a purpose in your DNA for why you came. And if you want to follow that, when we want to follow that, many people find their vocation or their business idea based upon what they should do from the programming or what they need to do to get the money, and they forget that they have another purpose perhaps to manifest. And if you are being drawn towards building a business, it's really important that you are really aligned vibrationally with what you came to create. So that means if you know deep inside that you're attracted to spirituality, since we're talking about a spiritual coaching business, you came here to be a spiritual teacher, a thought leader, or a coach of some form, either for health or fitness or mental, emotional, whatever it really is, a lot of people tend to not speak their truth because they're afraid to be judged or criticized, or that they're not good enough or they don't know enough. And they tend to not speak their truth, which is their truth, because they create, and we all know that we create our own reality. So I see a lot of people shying away from their passion and their true purpose. And if you look at this place like a bit of a game where we're supposed to come in focused as physical beings, we're supposed to gather all these pieces for the experiences that our soul and spirit is really craving to experience, to understand that specific perspective from creation. So creation wanted to experience itself, and it needed to create a split into darkness and light, and into spirit and soul, into vibration and energy, which from that created form, which is you. So as you can see that in the cell, when the masculine and feminine seeds, hey, nice to be nice, Kelly, to let me know you're here. It's a bit of a delay here, but I'm just gonna keep going. So the masculine and feminine, which is the darkness and the light, or the minus and the plus, or we know all the different concepts, the yin or the yang. And what happens is that the trinity is really from the duality, it becomes form. So when you see a cell in the womb, it's the one cell, it's two cells that melt to one, and then they start separating and splitting into a lot of pieces until you have formed a body. And then the spirit and the soul can physically focus in that body. And you come here to the planet with a specific purpose. And the way you can understand that purpose is by following what excites you deep inside. Now, here's where it gets tricky, because we are full of programming, and these programs tend to run most people's lives. We don't tend to really tap into that purpose, because a lot of the time because of fear. So when people are afraid, they block the flow of life and they become locked down, and fear of change brings stagnation, which most cases bring dis-ease to the body in mental, physical, or emotional ways. And what we're seeing, just to pull in a bit of the coronavirus, what is interesting about it is that on the planet today, there's a lot of things that need to change. Like, we know that in our hearts, the capitalistic systems, the financial systems, the educational systems, the healthcare systems, the way we look at humans as the money instead of humans as the basis for economy, which is not actually true, because people are economy, not money. Money follows that. So when we take a look at all the values that we have and we have created, we can understand that this is not true, and we need to change in order for the consciousness of the planet to rise and ascend. So we have a crisis, and a crisis in the body or a crisis on the planet tends to push humanity forward, if it's in the individual level or if it's on the planetary level. So the crisis of Corona pushes us into change that we would resist heavily, and it shows us enormous piece of change in a very short time. For example, cleaner air, for example, families coming together, for example, that governments are supporting people. And we also see a lot of the old structures break. So it's through that destruction that we can see something changing and the potential of a new vision for what we can form. And it's the same with you. If you want to start this business, sometimes it's difficult to follow that excitement because of your programs of fear, because of the programs that are keeping you in a survival mode, that you are afraid of being judged or being criticized, or maybe not being understood, or feeling that you're too special for connection. And if you speak about your truth, speak about the spiritual parts of being a human, or the deeper philosophical truths or experiences that are true for you, that other people would judge you or not understand you, and you will feel alone. And I think a lot of people feel alone within their own community or own environment because they feel that they're too special, meaning that they have all these ideas and thoughts and depths, and they don't feel they can share it. Because of that, they feel lonely even though they have a community or have connection. So that's why it's also super important for us to move forward within these communities where we can strengthen our community feeling to the work that we're doing. And it's really the time to, hey, great day. It's really the time to step up now more than ever, because the ones that can do that now and step up and speak their truth, there will be a guiding light in the way that they will demonstrate instead of just being full of talk. As we know from politicians and the last 20 years, there's a lot of talk. Thank you, Greta. I appreciate that. So you are vibration, and we tend to forget that sometimes we need to go into the energetic level to also reconnect to that blueprint, and we need to sort of go through the darkness, which means a lot of the shadow work to realign our energies to what is true for us. So that means giving up on pieces of ourselves that we gathered through our childhoods, an opinion about ourselves, or voices about ourselves that others installed and we believed. So that in a way that there's through that darkness or through that awakening process from being a child into adulthood, and all the programs we take on and all the beliefs about ourselves that we are not good enough, or we are not smart enough, or we are not worthy of love, or worthy of expressing our own truth, or that we're weird, or that we're not going to make it in a business, or all these beliefs that we have about ourselves that is stopping us from moving forward into that purpose. And ultimately, this is really important because we teach, and I teach on the basic grounds of manifestation through shadow work and through opening up and reprogramming into accessing abundance, really to shift those understandings about the world and about yourself, and how we can look at that from a new perspective, which calms the body and calms the mind, so that you can align your energy and your mind and be in a state of receiving that inspiration that is more connected to what you came here to do. And so what we do in manifestation is, a lot of the times we start by wanting to manifest something new because of something painful we have experienced. And because of the pain and the suffering, we want to move away from that. So we see that's what we want instead. It's like exploring those contrasting, like, I don't like this, I want to go there. And a lot of the time we begin in the physical realm by wanting, for example, a new house, or a new car, or a bike, or a relationship, or more happiness, and these small things that are basically basic for humans, and some wish to sort of up level and upgrade that. But ultimately, it's not the things that we want to manifest. It's the feeling, the things, by having those things. It's the feeling we get by having those things that we want. And this is really important because we tend to miss that. And then we want to manifest, and we go into the trap of wanting, and we send out these waves of I want, actually implying that we already lack, which brings the experience of more lacking and more wanting and less manifesting. So we know that we have to be the vibration, we have to become and embody what we want to manifest. And this is the most important part of it. And what we're going to understand through that process is that it's okay to manifest things, but the real reward, the real spiritual work, is really to be able to connect to your purpose and manifest that purpose from joy and happiness and clarity and alignment energetically, vibrationally. So your spirit comes to experience what it needs to experience to upgrade and learn as a part of Source, having its unique, focused experience of what it wants to explore. So it's a learning experience, and we tend to focus on the goal, and then we know it's the path, it's the journey that brings the real abundance. So why am I talking about this when I came to talk about 3 steps to a spiritual coaching business? It's very important because when you want to start a business, you have to see that it's not just the work of the practical outer work. It is really to do the inner work first. Because if you want to, basically, if you want to go for a business, it is a lot of work, and it's a lot of hard work. It's not hard work because it's fun if you're aligned with purpose. But if you are going for a business that is not truly aligned, you might feel quickly drained and burned out because you are not aligned. And Source is trying to sort of push you in the direction of where you are meant to go for your own learning experience and upgrade. So this alignment with that purpose will ignite the energy to go on the mission. Again, this is the balancing of the masculine and feminine on that endeavor. So it's very important to investigate the truth and authenticity that you bring to the table through the shadow work, because we tend to want to move towards the light. It's natural because we were like reptiles in the ocean at one point. Evolution brought light, so we wanted to move to the light. But it's actually in the darkness where most things are created, inside the womb, which is a good metaphor for things being created and architect structured in the dark and then brought into the light. So we come to balance the masculine and the feminine. We come to balance the dark and the light within us. So we have to understand that we got to seek for the neutral points. And that means that we're going to experience both dark and light within our own creation. When we create a business, or when we create a life, or when we create a relationship, or when we create any experiences for our soul and spirit upgrade, or for the source upgrade. So the embracing of that, trusting that the experiences that come to you are the ones that you need, one, for your upgrade, for your understanding of all the aspects that it is to be a human or a creator in the totality, a human in the 3D, of course. So moving towards a business without that alignment to your purpose can feel really heavy on a lot of people. And 9 out of 10 businesses they fail. And that is just a fact. And I really, with my work, hope to bring that number down, because I really want to help you align with the purpose through daring to show up authentic as yourself through the darkness. So you go into the darkness through shadow, and you open up what you need to open up, and you accept what you need to accept about yourself. And then you're more able to feel the wholeness, the whole scale of the energy vibration, the whole scale of the emotional. So I said this to my group last morning when we had a coaching session also, that love is the frequency of creation. So like the energy of love is a creative frequency. It creates, and it's love. It's not the love that you think about between a romantic love. It's the love frequency of compassion. And compassion means with passion. So being compassionate is not really to be an empath that hasn't learned yet to set the boundaries and becomes drained from other people's stories. Being compassionate is being with passion, being with yourself and following your passion, and knowing that another person that you see out there in the world is a mirror for you, a reflection of the same consciousness, the same source. So like we're split into billions of different angles and mirrors that we can take a look at ourselves. We have compassion for that person being on their journey, that part of us that being on that part of spirit and source journey. And even though that's a tough experience emotionally, we know that that is what their energy, vibration, and matter, which is the Trinity, craves for their upgrade, craves for their learning experience. So what you can do is follow your highest excitement. And then you have 10 billion voices telling you like you can't do that because it's not going to make you money, or you're not going to do this, or you're not going to do that. And this is where you need to understand that moving through darkness will be the place that you can shred some of that fear and then create from the darkness, like the seed when it's planted into the ground, and really move towards the light, but from the darkness. So it's really important that we learn to balance. And I think some people, or many people in these days, forget that the feminine represents the darkness. So we're taking the journey of the feminine, but it's actually the journey of the darkness. That we are not just light workers, we're both. At another dimension, we need to realign the darkness and the light. And that is one of my purpose for coming forth, is to balance the feminine and the masculine, to balance the light and the darkness, not just to move towards the light, because it becomes unbalanced if you move just to one point. You want to find the neutral. So following your highest excitement when you're on the journey of building your spiritual coaching business is number one key. So when you do that, things will unfold. Things will unfold exactly as they're supposed to unfold. And you need to gather with you the tools of trusting, alignment, meditation to get to know your patterns, know what to shred, finding peace within your own physical being so that you have the optimized opportunity for experiencing what you need to experience. So that is the most important part, is following your highest excitement and daring to step into that who you are. So being more of who you are, being more authentic, being more true, less fake, less bullshit, less being what other people expect you to be because it feels more comfortable. These days are over. And other people need you to do that because they will see that and they will maybe feel uncomfortable, maybe feel happy. You don't know, but it's your responsibility to stay with your compassion, self-compassion, being with your passion, moving in the highest direction of your highest excitement, your passion, trusting when you see other people suffer, knowing that they are a part of you on the same path, learning about the different aspects of creation through a mirror. You trust that they are compassion. You're compassionate. So this is so incredibly important, and it brings a nuance into the love and light realm. Like, just love and light is good, but love and light and darkness is more true. And there's many ways we can talk about this. This is just scratching the surface a bit. However, going with your highest excitement, following your passion, feeling the passion, taking action on it, feeling the passion, taking action on it, and it will unfold. Okay, let me know if that's clear, not clear. That's good. So the next step, and this is where we go a bit more into sort of the business part of it. You need to have clarity over what it is that you're doing. So the first clarity is, what is it that you want to create? What is your purpose? And then your mission. When you have clarity around that, you need to look for you need to think about how you can sing your song. So when you sing your song energetically, vibrationally, and through words, you will attract the people who needs to hear your message. So this is also really important, because you're coming down to what you know as tools of your message, and the way you structure your offers and your niche. So who are you helping? So if you want to build a business, it's very simple. Like, a business is, until this day, still trading a service for money. And you want to trade a service for money, you have to help somebody solve their problem. So you're helping somebody solve their problem, and you're trading that for money. And you need to communicate that super clear. So having clarity through, for example, who you serve, what problems you solve, who is that ideal client to you that you want to work with. And again, this is not about thinking money first. This is about thinking your purpose, because that will attract the people. So we'll go back to the energy work of it, and trust that that will happen when you are stepping into your most true vibration. So then the step after you've defined your niche, your message, and your sort of signature offer, knowing how to price and position yourself, you want to know that you have a client funnel with a value ladder and some ads and some funnels that convert into your programs or into your trainings. And that is super important to have a funnel that works either organically or through paid ads. It is definitely one of the greatest ways to build an online business today. And there are so many interesting ways of doing that and so many people that help you to build a funnel. And then it's really important that you mix those funnels and structured offers with, for example, organic growth through posting, different platforms, sharing, and also through that growth and engagement, for example, in a group like this. But again, keeping that alignment is so important. I had a group of 1,000 people and I had not shown up 100% truthfully and authentically a few years ago when I got started. And I didn't feel that vibration. I didn't feel that vibe within the group. And it was like a ghost town because I'd been the ghost. So it will just reflect your journey. So I actually deleted 1,000 people from my previous group and started this new group just months ago or weeks ago, because I felt that it's time for a new energy to move and flow in. And this is so important, to be honest with yourself, that you are in alignment with the reality that you want to create. You're aligned with your purpose and your mission through that organic growth, through that engagement that you create. And dare to speak your purpose and your mission, why you're here, and what you can help other people on their path. So the third thing on the clarity is really to have a good strategy. So having just a lot of different offers here and there and going in all directions at the same time, it doesn't everything works if it's your way. Eventually it will work, but of course having a strategy is very helpful. So the strategy consists of that niche, the clarity around your client, understanding the message you put out, the value ladder, the customer experience, and the results that you can bring. So that's number 2. So we got number 1, which is really following your passion and purpose, your highest desire, and your highest passion into what you want to create vibrationally, who you are and what you came to experience and express. Then the second is clarity around who you have and what business you have and how you can build a strategy to support that work. Yes. Okay. So let's move to the third one. And the third one is really about going all in. So I see a lot of people doing this over many years and they're not really going anywhere. So getting help along the way is crucial. I don't know, I've invested probably closer to 100,000 euros at this point into trainings and certifications and understanding how to build funnels. And I've spent so much time for my own enjoyment also and expansion to learn. So getting a mentor to guide you is absolutely essential. Like, there are only a few still that are sort of walking the whole, going all in. And I know that, you know, my results are not typical necessarily. And I had quite a great result just a couple of months after running my business. I had my first 3K. After 8 months, I had a 15K within a month. So I know that my results are not typical, but I knew that in order for me to have those results, I had to become what I wanted to, who I wanted to be. So I needed to grow my skills. I needed to grow my my routines in the morning. I needed to grow my own self-worth, my own ability to learn fast and implement, and my ability to ask for help. Because it's so easy to think that we can do everything on our own. And you can, for sure, but having somebody with an overview who's gone before you can be so helpful and so incredibly expansive for the results of your business. And also really to lean upon somebody who has done this job, who has done this work before you, is incredibly powerful. And I think, you know, when you're wanting to start a spiritual coaching business today, bringing in these three elements and also knowing that you're tapping into a market that potentially is growing about 12 to 15%, and it's going to hit about $1 billion a day by 2025, and that's according to markets and research. And that is incredible. Like, it's like a Klondike. Everybody can go, but as I talked about before, you need some alignment with those skills, with those tools, with those investments, and the knowledge to take you on that path and move it forward. So it's really yeah, so it's really important to put all these elements together, and then you have a powerful module for how you can build your spiritual business. And your coaching program, you know, you can build it online, offline. There's so many ways to combine it with workshops, with online seminars, and there's just the creativity will stop you, but your ability to manifest those creative process or those creative projects within a frame and a framework that is helpful is so important. But the foundation for all, it starts in the darkness. It doesn't start in this physical reality. It starts within, energetically, through vibration and alignment. So that is it. I don't know if you have any questions, please bring them on. I'm happy to answer them. And this is, I can tell you, it's not always a simple journey, but it's an extremely rewarding journey because you're not just doing it for building a business and earning some money. It's not just what you're doing it for. You're doing it for that feeling of fulfillment and joy and happiness and clarity and abundance, and that knowing that your soul and your spirit is on the right path and that you're learning what you're supposed to learn. You're contributing what you're supposed to contribute. And it's just an amazing feeling. I just got off the phone with a client now, and we had one amazing session. She had a big breakthrough, and her heart, she's like, her heart was jumping. There's nothing more I love to see than that feeling, expanding her energy to her heart skipping a beat just because she's so happy to feel aligned with what she came to do. And discovering that is the process. And the process is the journey. That is the point. It is not the goal, because the universe is a whole process of self-discovery. And that's why we're here. So I don't see any questions coming in. I don't, but that's okay. Next, on one of the next slides, we're going to tap into the sacred money archetypes. And I'm going to dig into something I'm calling money revolution. We're going to look into money and how we can manifest money and how we can easily attract money and understand the energy of money into our own lives, and some immediate tools that we can use immediately. So that's going to be the next live. And I would, if you can do the quiz, I'm going to leave the quiz in a link in the group. You can do the quiz, and it's really showing the archetypal patterns of who you are in relationship to money. And we know that money is related to creativity, sexuality, and power. So it's really an interesting topic to see where you're blocking, where you're willing to receive, and where you're willing to give, and what unconscious patterns you're carrying from blocking the flow of money, or having a lot of money and then spending them before they even that's a tough one. Yeah, well, it can be an easy one if you are willing to see. Kelly knew. So sure. Okay. I hope you all are really well. This was a shorter live, but I'm really happy to come on and see you all, and really keep on searching for that understanding of what is your true passion, and follow it. Follow your highest excitement and take action on it. That's the best thing you can do. And then for the business steps, go back and watch this video and replay if you are watching the replay. And thank you very much, and we'll talk soon. See you soon.